We might be live, Richie. If you haven't seen us, hello. I'm having some interesting problems on my end, but we might be live.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Just gonna click a couple of things. We appear to be live. Maybe not.
Oh, maybe. I mean, it's not a live stream unless there's massive technical issues, right?
Yeah, I've been doing this for a decade, and I'm used to it, and I love it. Yeah, I think we're live. Okay, well, how's it going, buddy? There's several things we need to talk about. I saw how well you did. I saw your video. You did with the Expeditionary Force, my favorite way of playing Dwarves.
No, thank you very much, mate.
What made you take them? I need to know.
So basically, last year I just played the Grand Army until the Arcane Journal come out. So I went to loads of tournaments with them, and then when the Royal Hosts come out, I was like, right, it's the traditional way to play Dwarves. This is what I want to do. I'm going to play these. So I took the King, obviously took the Yeet list, and then took that to loads of events. And then this was the year of Expedition Force. So just trying to work out different ways to play them. I started out with just really loads of gyrocopters, and then just kind of like worked my way back now. So I've got like a little bit more infantry in, a little bit more artillery in. I don't think it is live, by the way, mate.
No, we're there. Don't worry, dude. Yeah, we're there.
Is it my computer that's not working then?
We are having, like Richie said, technical issues, and that's okay. How's it going, Cliff? How's it going, Demon Ace? So did you miss? We're gonna talk about what else in a second, everybody. Did you miss not having the Anvil of Doom? Because I struggle. Like I literally miss it every time I play without it. Like, miss is the proper word. Long for it.
So I actually have been going to events now. So this is my second or third event with Expeditionary Force. I've been super busy this year, but I've taken 0 magic defense at all, and just relying on the fact that trying to stay away from people so they can't hit me. That's basically what I've been trying to do. So 0 magic defense, 0 magic, and it's been working all right, actually. I think as long as you accept the fact that magic missiles are going to absolutely wreck you, then you're fine.
Yeah, well, okay, so okay, hold on. Dwarf still got that sweet MR something for magic missiles, right?
Yeah. So MR1's actually amazing, to be perfectly honest. Like, I think the magic resist is probably the best rule in the entire game. Like, how many points would you pay to get +1 to cast or +2 to cast, or even if it's on the anvil +3? Do you know what I mean? So to be able to negate that, it's amazing.
I'm assuming your Expeditionary Force is very ranged focus, so with that in mind, you don't have to worry too much about the Column of Crystal, because you can't shut that thing down once it's up with your Expeditionary Force, right?
I mean, you're not really too worried about the Column of Crystal, right? Because the entire army's so mobile. Like, all of the artillery's upgraded to be able to move. If you take Thunderers, and they can move and shoot as well. The gyrocopters are just kind of zipping around. I've seen a lot of stuff online of people being like, gyros are really uninteractive. Like, every single game, like if you watch my battle report from last weekend, you can kill them so easily. Like, every single army in the game has loads of different ways to kill them. They're actually a really interactive way to play. People probably won't believe this, but everyone does say they have a really good game against them. So I'm not going to take that line down.
I actually can't see any reasonable argument against the gyrocopter being uninteractive. I mean, every army deserves to have good things, and they're not game-breakingly good. I don't see this as a valid complaint for gyrocopters. There are things to complain about. In fact, I think Beardy Harry's worse for the overall. Sorry, the Fireball Thane, as you Brits call it, is probably worse for the overall meta than the gyrocopter.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely in the list, right? But the thing is, so I've never won an event with the Expeditionary Force. So this is the best that I've done with it so far, which was 3rd at a 44-person
That's
event.
awesome.
I've never won an event with the X-Force, whereas Royal Clans and the Grand Army, just playing purely infantry, managed to get a few wins in. So the skill ceiling for the X-Force is.
So if you look at my eyes darting off to the side, I'm trying to pull up the article about the Wood Elves, and they pull it down.
Which one?
The Wood Elf article.
I've still got it up on mine, but then I didn't even see that we'd gone live, so I wouldn't trust my internet at all.
Hey, chat, any questions for Richie while I... You probably can't see your chat while I try to find this article.
Oh, no, sorry, I can see it now. Yeah.
Oh, you see it now?
Yeah, so yeah, I can see it now. Yeah, so Nis, I do agree that spam lists are a little bit boring. So basically, I have kind of moved away from the full gyrocopter spam. As at this last event I was at, there was a guy running just full as many points as he could get into gyrocopters as possible. It was glorious to see. But yeah, I think you need a bit more of a well-rounded army to actually to deal with stuff. I don't know. With the X-Force into Nuln, I genuinely think that Nuln has the edge here. Just because of the Hellblasters. Like, you can destroy 2 or 3 units of gyrocopters a turn. So I genuinely think, I genuinely think that Nuln is a rough game, to be perfectly honest.
I actually don't think, I think Nuln is better than the overall internet gives credit for.
The issue is the wizards, right?
Yep, that's the only issue.
That illusion wizard. Yeah, so you can't pin dragons. But into other armies, I think it's really, really good. Especially we've been able to Vanguard stuff at the beginning. Brilliant.
You can't pin dragons, but I mean, you can still, even the MR2 dragon, the null list with a level 2 will cast at effectively level 3 with dark. Oh no, I guess you can't pick your spell, so never mind that. But you can still put enough firepower to put a dragon down.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Empire cannons are pretty great, right? Unfortunately, I don't like to admit it, but they do have the best cannon in the game.
They're literally great. Well, this is incredibly frustrating because the article, I'm going to try Googling it, but I cannot get to the article while I'm logged into Warhammer World. Or Warhammer.
So I think Ed might be right, actually. They might be fixing all of the bits that were wrong in it because they put like High Elf Dragon and there was loads of spelling mistakes in it. So potentially might be trying to change that because that was definitely not a High Elf Dragon, right?
Well, yeah, so I can't pull it up, but I mean, so we know what else are coming, which means I can say, so once everybody knows they're coming, I can say, this Saturday I'll be able to put out my review of the What Else. And I haven't recorded a battle report yet, but I've recorded a battle report. I'm going to contact everybody this afternoon, see who's going to be available. I'll put something out. There's 2 armies of infamy we know about. We have the Wild Hunt and something of Taliesin? I forget what it's called, dang. But it's like the martial What Else. So I mean, you guys in chat get to decide which one of those armies you want to see first for this Saturday. Either way, next week's live streams on Mountain Miniatures will have each of those. You can see the Sunday preview, eh?
Yeah, I can still see it. Have they? Right, is mine updated? Yeah, so mine says Wood Elf Noble on Dragon now as well, actually. It's alive! It's alive!
I legitimately cannot see the Sunday preview.
Doesn't like you, mate. Right, let's have a look. I do really like that dragon as well. So nostalgic.
I got it. We're good. I got it. We got a Wood Elf Arcane Journal fully teased. But we kind of saw the battalion already, right? You showed this off a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I think so. Like, they showed loads off already, right?
So what do you think about the context? So granted, without knowing what's inside the Arcane, well, we have an idea what's inside the Arcane Journal. Without knowing all the rules in the Arcane Journal, do you like I know you're not a Wood Elf player, Filthy Knife Ears, but do you like a battalion with all that infantry?
So,
sorry, Elven infantry?
Yeah, I know, bloody Knife Ears. No, I'm excited to see it. Like, as long as they're not just all skirmish and running around and just being a nuisance with loads of poison shots, then that's just good for the game, right?
But it's the Wood Elf way, brother.
It is, but it does look like they're trying to move away from that. So one of the armies is like, it looks like it's meant to be like a combat focused around him with the Eternal Guard, and then the Wild Hunt with Orion. So that's mainly combat stuff, right? So we might see a slight shift in how they're being portrayed to play, maybe?
So, okay, now, the Wild Riders has always been a contentious thing on this channel. A lot of Wood Elf players love them. Like, just love them. Who cares how good or bad they are, just love the idea of them. The fact that they are a frenzied cavalry has always been a thing I don't like. So I've been very against the Wild Riders, but every time I put them on the table in our casual type games, they always tend to overperform. But I mean, once you start playing like with a lot of chaff and stuff, you pull them out of the way. So I am nervous about the Wild Hunt, and then I personally really enjoy the Eternal Guard. I've always played them often, and they've done very, very well for me. And most Wood Elf players disagree with me and don't like them. Have you had any experience fighting against either of those units?
Yes. Well, into the Wild Riders, yes. I
Yeah,
haven't actually ever played into any Eternal Guard.
never,
I've
right?
never come across them in a tournament. No one's ever run them. Like normally, it's just like Sisters of Thorn or the Wild Riders, and then a load of Grey Guard and just loads of poison spam. That's pretty much all I've ever seen. People probably aren't going to believe this, but I do actually have a Wood Elf army kicking around somewhere from years ago. So I mean, I'm not going to get out to play it, so but I do have one.
So you're not still seeing Sisters of Thorn, are you?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
Not anymore. No, I played a really interesting Wood Elf list on the weekend. So it's a guy called Keith Oliver, I believe. Yeah, I think that's his last name. Really good game. So that's on my battle report from last weekend. Yeah, really fun. So we had a massive line of treekin. So it was the entire unit was just line hammered of these treekin just walking up, which I thought was pretty awesome, actually.
So Kilgun, that is a very long discussion, which is so Kilgun's asking, why are people claiming infantry are bad? It's not really a black and white answer. You have to go over the history of the entire last year to fully understand. But I will give my short version and short answer, and then Richie can like augment it or fix it. So at the beginning, we're seeing infantry as a whole has a whole lot less attacks than the community has been used to in modern, not even modern, but the last couple of editions of Warhammer Fantasy. So infantry just doesn't put out the punch they used to. This edition turned out to be the first time, and probably, in my opinion, in several editions, maybe all 9 editions, that offense was more important than defense. And the offensive infantry hasn't scaled as well as the cav, monsters infantry, chariots, monsters, and characters. So this edition really became kind of and this is the beginning, this is a year ago we're talking, really became a Hero Hammer / Dragon edition, which would like destroy infantry. Infantry wouldn't even, the fighting rank would die for the most part before they got their attacks. Now this has evolved over the last year and a half where we're seeing a lot more infantry, but more of a Death Star type build, but you're still seeing a lot of characters doing all the work, and the infantry's just there to hold or use combos to get like 6, 7, 8 combat res to like just hold against something, but characters are still doing all the work. So infantry right now doesn't do a lot of punch, and the game really wants you to punch. Anything you disagree with on that one?
So I think the biggest problem is I don't think infantry are bad per se. It's just they're not as good as other options. With the addition of like swift stride and much faster options that can dictate where the fight happens, what flank it's going to be in. When you are playing an infantry army, you can get easily surrounded by stuff that's just got a much higher movement than you, and you don't have anything to counteract that really. And there's a lot of stuff that can be taken advantage of, like fullback in good order can be taken advantage of by monsters as well, and also cavalry to get the lances again right. So there's just a lot of options that these faster, bigger, punchier units have, where the infantry blocks. Like, don't get me wrong, like I love infantry. Like I've played with infantry since it come out. Like I absolutely love it. But it is an uphill battle to try and win games with, definitely. Like you can definitely win. You can win games against your friends. You can win RTTs. You can win whole tournaments using infantry. They're not bad. They're just not as good. That's
you touched on something I forgot about, but also add to what you just said there. So that's true. You can win a big tournament in your area, but like when you get down to the top 10 players in the world, you're probably not going to do well with your infantry against those players.
Well, I mean, it really depends, right? 'Cause some of the best lists. Yeah, I mean, some of the obviously this is like spamming stuff, but like the Goblin Poison Block, the Royal Host.
I hate that.
I absolutely hate that. So we're actually playing into that this week. So we're playing into Germany, and they've got the Royal Host list. It's Denarius playing it, and we just don't know what to do with that at all.
But you touched on one thing I actually thought about. Actually, was a big part of, or in my opinion, a year ago. Boy, infantry isn't at the best. You said they get outmaneuvered, they get surrounded pretty fast. Swift stride's really good. We came from edition 8th edition where the lowliest of skeleton had a 16-inch threat range on a charge, and now they're maxing at 10. Well, otherwise spells. So infantry, their charge threat is so reduced that like everything can get their charge on them, other than other infantry can almost guarantee the charge on them, thus killing their fighting rank and getting no attacks back. So that was, you touched on that. Like I forgot about that. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the lack of step up does kind
Yeah.
of perplex people that obviously come from 8th edition. I played a lot of 6th edition mainly, so I was kind of I was used to that. You're used to the cavalry being slightly oppressive. Like Bretonia was absolutely amazing. I forgot that they were crap in 8th edition actually, because I went back and was playing 6th for a couple of years. And yeah, when everyone was moaning about Brett's being rubbish, I was like, because I'd just been playing in 6th edition tournaments for like the prior 3 years to Old World coming out. I was like, what are you guys on about? Like, Brett's oppressive. But yeah, like it's kind of back to that again. But it is, this entire edition's reminiscent of 6th, right? Just with combined profiles on the monsters.
But very much so. Well, okay, but you also touched on something too that's a big deal. So Bretonians had the same book in 7th and 8th. 7th edition, the Flying Circus was doing very well competitively. It was doing impressively well. 8th edition comes, rules change. The rules on those models don't change, and all of a sudden they don't do as well, because all of a sudden they're charging into like Skaven Slaves, which cost 120 points, and they're stubborn 10. So rule changes drastically affect. So if there was like a couple of rule changes in this edition of Warhammer: The Old World, I'm not saying something's coming out, but we all know something's eventually coming out. But I'm saying if you change rules just minorly in the game, like the power dynamic often quite easily shifts. There could easily put a rule in the game that makes monsters near useless. Not useless, but the rules affect the viability of these models greatly.
Yeah, I think it's a fine balance as well, because obviously in 8th edition, infantry was king. In 7th and 6th edition, it was cavalry that was king. Obviously, we're in a monster edition at the moment, and I don't know if it's worth just kind of letting that play out potentially. It's like we all will get our time in the sun with the army builds that we like. So it's worth just kind of accepting that, not trying to moan about it too much, and just building an army that can deal with that. Like you see the people that are doing quite well at the moment have either gone into that meta or they've built something to compete against it. And I feel that that's healthier than sitting there and moaning about it potentially.
So the great thing about this is for those of you that are very new and haven't experienced several editions of Warhammer Fantasy over the years, 5th edition Warhammer Fantasy is where I started 30 years ago. That was a Hero Hammer edition. What that meant was, like, you had 1,000 points of characters, and it might have been one character that was 1,000 points. You brought your minimum core, and if you had a cannon, you also brought a cannon. Maybe you brought a chariot or whatever. It just you bring a Hero Hammer and minimum everything else. 6th edition drastically changed the game. It became all about infantry. 7th edition kind of like pumped up. I felt 7th edition was the edition of special rules and cavalry. Cavalry was king in 7th edition. 8th edition comes around, like Richard said, it was a infantry Death Star and level 4 wizard meta in 100% of the lists, except for dwarves. They did infantry, Death Star, and artillery. And then Old World is, I think, the first one where, in my opinion, you don't agree with me on this, anybody. While there is a definite top tier meta, which is still shifting and forming, because we're only a year and a bit into the game, right? But it can also play. You can also play all of the units in your book and have a good time. Play the game. Almost every unit in the game plays the game. Even the bad ones play the game well enough. You can have a good time as long as you're on the same page as your opponent.
Yeah, as long as you've got the same expectation going into the game, you can have a great time, right? Like, and I do definitely think that when we do get these fabled changes that are going to happen to the game, I think it will swing round, and I think infantry will get their time, because how many complaints have Games Workshop had about monsters being too strong, stuff being too fast, and people want to play blocks again? So they'll have seen this. They'll have seen the hundreds and thousands of complaints about it, or just people voicing concerns. So it will come. So yes, your infantry blocks of Empire will be good again, definitely.
What if this fabled update to the rules, or 1.5, or what, we've all heard various versions of the rumor. What if it was actually a thing, and then it's no longer going to come out? What if they decide to go another route? What if, because we know the overall plan for this game has since changed since the beginning. I mean, it's doing better than they expected. So maybe it's no longer. Maybe we keep talking about this rumored upcoming rules change. Maybe it's just squashed and dead.
Yeah, I mean, this would be the definite GW kind of like, wouldn't it? Just like make us wait till 2nd edition now.
But if it was real, I feel like we would have saw. There've been so many Old World leaks. We were talking about this before. So many Old World leaks. I think we would have saw something. Though there was something, wasn't there? I mean, a physical image we saw a while back? I don't remember.
I don't know. The only thing I'm going to say is, though, we didn't see anything about the cafe models. So I live in hope that there is this.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so freaking stoked for them.
I know. It's going to be awesome.
Well,
so there could be it coming. We don't know.
You said let's let it be. If Cathay comes out, or Cathay, however you want to pronounce it, when it comes out, and if they're just better than everybody else, if they're just like a tier above everybody else, I don't care. I'm gonna let it. I'm not gonna moan. I'm just gonna let it happen. Have fun with it. Let them roll for a while, because the wheel will keep on spinning. Something will be better. What's the worst army in the game right now? What's objectively the worst army in the game right now, Richie? Call it.
So it's Skaven. 100% Skaven.
I love them
the worst
so
army in the game.
much.
I know. So, a really interesting fact about this, one of my mates, Jack Allen, actually won 5 games at an event and won the event with Skaven this weekend.
Amazing!
The best Warhammer player in the world, hands down, mic drop. That's it. That guy.
I would really love to remind everybody, it's not your army, it's you. I'm kidding. Okay.
No,
so
it's definitely Skaven.
So, we'll call it Skaven. Skaven will have their day in the sun. Something will happen. Rules change, meta change, new edition. Top of the army, top of the meta. It's gonna happen. Things, as a wargamer, you've been in this for long enough. Everything keeps changing.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I want dwarves to be on top again. It's coming.
I think dwarves are fine, and then I'm waiting you buff them. I think you're doing very well with dwarves, dude. I think a lot of people just. I think dwarves are one of those are nothing. Do they really? Okay, objectively, honestly, do they really need a buff?
So, right, there's certain stuff that does need changing. The Slayers obviously need to be made usable. Flame cannons need to be usable. Ballistic skill 4 on bolt throwers, and then I'd probably be happy. Maybe parry save back, actually. Bit of parry. I'll take that.
So let me counter with, you can go through 100% of the armies in the game and find things like that. Empire State Troops, they could use a buff. What's doing amazing? What's doing absolutely amazing? What's top of the meta right now, Richie?
So you got like Warriors of Chaos, Vampire Counts, Tomb Kings. Yeah, those are probably like and Bretonia, obviously.
I'm trying to think of a thing in either. I'm gonna make my whole army's gonna fall apart. There's something in all those books that need tweaking as well that need buffs. God damn it! I can see you win.
Yeah, they're pretty good, right? Like,
questing knights. Questing knights could be tweaked. They could be better. They're kind of useless. We can find something in all these books. There's something. Vargulfs. No, Vargulfs? Vargulfs. Yeah, no, what do you call those damper count thingies?
Like Pegasus Knights could be 3 wound. You know, like Justice for Peg Knights, right?
You know what? I'm trying to. Richie, everybody watching, we are all over the place. We were talking about what else, but we're gonna go all over the place. I would love the game to return a rule that Warhammer Fantasy had for 3 decades. Flying characters can't join units, even if you didn't have flying. Let's take the Royal Pegasus out of the Pegasus in the units. That's a step in the right direction.
Ed, why do TK Horsemen need buffing? They literally can reserve moves, so they pop out, shoot you, and hide again. I'm not having that, mate.
I think they mean. I think he means they're heavy cav.
Right, yeah, the ones we never see. Okay.
Yeah, cool models. I would like to see them again.
Ed, how did you get on, mate? I saw you were playing the Exiles over the weekend. Interested to see how you got on, mate, to be fair. Oh, you won most sporting, didn't you? Nice. How did you win most running Exiles?
Do people still hate gunlines? I think in a casual game, a gunline is more hated than competitively, but that's just more of an opinion. Like, how do you feel about? Do you get nervous bringing a gunline to an event?
So
for sportsmanship purposes?
So I've only ever took one gunline to one event in Old World, and I took it was when Expeditionary Force. I think was it September last year. So I'd been playing Royal Clans, and I was like, I fancy a bit of a break. So I brought like the massive unit of guns with Burlock in there and like loads of cannons and stuff. I don't even think I took any gyrocopters actually. It was just literally static gunline that I was just going to sit there and shoot people. And yeah, when people dropped down opposite me, they weren't excited about it. But it was more of kind of a hang up from 8th edition, I think, because obviously that's what dwarves used to be. You can be a lot more interactive nowadays. Like, there's a lot funner builds that you can do. The gunline armies are Empire nowadays, 100%. I don't think dwarves can't really do it anyway now. Like, our cannons aren't anywhere near as good, and organ guns are just a bit cack. So
okay, so the organ gun range is nice, but I agree with you, not enough shots. But the cannons, I was gonna say they're only 1 less damage, but they're also 2 less strength and 1 less AP. Yeah, you're right. That is the biggest. That's probably the biggest travesty of the edition for me, is the cannon. More so, I'd rather I'd rather buff the dwarf cannon before I pull down the mortuary cult or Bretonian Flying Circus, whatever. Not because of rules, just because of lore. Like, it just makes no sense.
I mean, you shouldn't get a save against cannonballs. Like, can you remember back in the day when strength 8 would have been -5, right?
Exactly.
Oh, I'm moving my camera.
Yeah, no, cannons could. Well, okay, so they did lower the save across the board for just about everything in the game. But I don't know. Is there any generic? Wait a second. Let me rephrase that question, because I think it's even broader. Is there anything in the game outside of spells that ignore armor saves? Is there a magic item, a piece of equipment? Does anything ignore armor saves outside of spells in this edition?
Well, obviously you've got like cleaving blow and killing blow, I suppose, which are linked to weapons. So just that, really, I think. The thing that really annoys me is you get hit by a cannonball and you've got a 2-up save. So suddenly these high elf dragons have got a 4-up save against the cannonball. Justice. Where's the justice?
You know, I hadn't really thought about it. That is kind of dumb. Why?
Ridiculous.
Why do cannons have AP? Scream.
I know. Yeah, screams. Yeah.
Bellblade.
The Wailing Dirge. I hate that rule. It's so dumb.
Scream has always been an annoying little thing, but I feel I was going to say it feels much worse this edition, but it is definitely much worse this edition. Units are smaller, wounds are less. I hate screams. We all hate screams.
Yeah, just a nightmare, aren't they? I don't know if there's anything else. Potentially like a couple of bits.
I'm spiraling right now. I hadn't thought about it. I'm frustrated that cannons don't ignore armor saves.
Oh, it's rubbish, isn't it? Honestly, like, because I was running 3 cannons over the weekend, and the amount of people that were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm saving this on a 4." You're like, it's a cannonball.
So okay, so we were talking about this 10, 15 minutes ago. The difference of editions. 8th edition, we did say it was like a Death Star infantry / wizard edition. However, if you had cannons, you also brought multiple cannons. Monsters were not seen on the table in 8th edition at all, because a cannon can one-shot them. A high wound monster was 6 wounds. I think there was one. There's probably other. Somebody can track and point out. There's probably other monsters. There's the Ragnarok that had 8 wounds, but everything else had 6 wounds. And a cannon can do D6 damage and drop any monster in 1 turn. No armor saves allowed. Monsters didn't have ward or regen for the most part back then. So they did the right thing by pulling cannons in line with the game to not to like entirely shift the meta. They're still Empire cannons are still useful, but I'd rather them be in their current state than how they were in 8th edition.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've just seen my favorite comment I've ever seen on YouTube ever. So apparently your plot armor is stronger than a cannonball.
Yeah, so that's freaking. Yep. Hey, it's Bromo Sapien. That's stupidly fair.
That's my favorite comment I've ever seen. I love it.
But I guess cannons have been in every list for my entire experience with the game. Like, if you had a cannon for the last 30 years, you bought a cannon.
Yeah, I can't think of. If you can take one, you take 3, right?
I'm this close to implementing a house rule on the channel where cannons just ignore armor save just for the. It's now immersion breaking that a cannonball is bouncing off the scale of a dragon.
Have you tried the specialist core yet? By the way.
No. So last week, so Luke and I, pretty much the guy I recorded with, we planned beforehand, and last week we were filming all day before we had to film our streams, which just doesn't happen often, so we didn't get a chance to talk about it. I'm gonna hopefully talk to him, I guess, tomorrow to see if we can do it, because those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Richie came up with this idea last week, and I can't remember how we got there, but playing a game where you only know to bring pretty much special. So the restrictions we're going to do in the battle report are you can bring up to 25% characters, maybe 35% characters, no core and no rare, and you only bring special. And the things that could be core in an army, like say a black orc, they count as core, so you can't bring black orc. So we're going to see different armies different units on the table. We're going to call it the professional army, the elite armies.
I think it'd be hilarious. Although, are you going to have it as rule of 3, or are you going to go rule of 6, or are you just going to?
If you did rule of 3 on that, it's fine, because I'm going to do a brag for a second. I think I own the largest personal collection of Warhammer Fantasy, private collection of Warhammer Fantasy in the world. I don't think I have 3 units of anything special. I don't have 4 units of any one special I can think of.
Nice, love it. My collection's pretty decent, but nowhere near that, to be fair.
Yeah, like what's a special unit that I like cannons, for example. I only have 3 cannons. My dwarves only have 2 cannons. Oh, so yeah, cannons are going to be on auto include, I guess. What
you need to up those numbers, mate.
I guess. Oh, I do have. I'm gonna paint them today. I just finished something last night. I do have now 3. What do you call those rocket batteries? The Hellstorm rocket batteries. I know they're trash, but Luca really wants to play a game with 3 of them, and it's still templates everywhere. He thinks it's going to be fun, so great. What do you think the rule of 3 is in the game for, Richie?
So obviously, I know it's not in the proper version of the game.
Yeah.
It was Rob and Val obviously come up with it over at the Square Based.
Well, Games Workshop has it in a lot of their game systems already, so it is very easily adopted and kind of accepted as the norm for every playing Games Workshop games.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely before the game come out and we were just seeing the rules, obviously no rule of 3 in the rulebook. Games Workshop still haven't released anything saying rule of 3 in Old World at all, apart from the Throne of Skulls pack that they did, which we thought was going to come into the main game, but just never appeared. So obviously they intend us to play with 6 cannons and 18 singular gyrocopters.
Okay, so 6 cannons first. I think that's. I think when you're building your list, you're gonna go, oh, I got 6 cannons on my list. I'm gonna keep building. I need this. I need that. I gotta start cutting cannons. I don't think anybody would put 6 cannons and have you honestly. Okay, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But do you think 6 cannons are actually gonna be a actual threat?
I genuinely think if Empire players could have 6 cannons, they would take 6 cannons. Anyone who plays Empire in the chat, please just let me know. Would you take 6 cannons if you could?
That's 750 points.
Of pure death.
No, they're not that reliable. That should go Dr. Free. No way. Okay, 18 gyrocopters? Fine. But I can't argue.
See, I can't argue. No. But I don't think MSU spam. Yeah.
I don't think you do broad rules because of an outlier you find. If the game, I don't know why I'm arguing about the rule of 3 again. I keep whatever, but like if the game needs that, the game didn't need that. Gyrocopters, yeah. So maybe no more than 3 gyrocopters, but that's me.
See, I agree with this. 6 cannons would break the dragon meta. It's true. We could make this change. It's coming in.
I actually don't know if it would. So turn 1, you hide your dragon at a line of sight. Turn 2, you fly your dragon so that the cannons can get good angles. Turn 3, you line up into one cannon over into the next, or something where you're always in combat, can't get shot no more.
But just remember,
I can do anything with Theory Hammer. Sorry.
Yeah, you can't hide unless there's a bit of impassable terrain. You cannot hide anymore. Like you can pick a point before a wood and slam through the wood. You can pick a point on a hill to bounce over. It's really easy to hit stuff with cannons nowadays.
Okay, hold on. So hold on. Are you guys? I guess this is not technically in the rule. Are you guys playing that you can aim a cannon at a target you can't see.
Oh yeah.
I would never do that.
It doesn't feel right. The first time it happened to me, I was raging. But that's apparently the rule, and that's apparently how everyone in the world plays it. Apparently, so that's what we go for.
So
I know.
So because I play everything online, everything I play is recorded for a battle report. That I can't do house rules. I have to make my battle reports as wide as for the audiences. Like, so we can't watch a battle report and see a rule that that's not how the game works. How it works in the rule book. Now there are some exceptions. One being that we don't fire cannons at targets because that was rule in 8th edition. If you can't see your target, you can't like manipulate it and just fire at nothing and hope to hit your target or whatever. But that's not a house rule per se because like you just choose not to do something. But yeah, what about hiding behind a building?
Obviously, you can't hit them then. If it's impassable, then the cannonball can't get through. But like if it's behind a hill, you just pick a point on the hill. So then you can hit it with like a 2 or a 4 on the cannonball. It's the one behind the woods that kind of gets me. Like, because obviously you just pick a point on the ground to shoot at. You don't need to technically be targeting an enemy.
Yeah, but you definitely are. The player is 100% targeting the dragon.
I suppose. All you got to imagine though is you've got like a little unit of like scouts somewhere looking and going, "It's over there, boss," and you're fully back in. You're immersed.
And no, honestly, like you're making jokes, but you find like things like that. It fixes the thing in my head, and we're good. Hilligan says the ultimate counter to dragons is having Bretonnian allies with a falcon horn. So every competitive event that I know about is still banning allies. Is that your experience?
Yes, yeah. Everyone's getting rid of allies, and a lot of the time, what I've been told is it's mainly because they don't want dwarves to get magic.
Okay, so my opinion about this has been unchanged. One, there hasn't been like proper large events with allies in it once to actually figure out if it's a problem. And two, you are actively making your army worse 100% of the time by bringing in allies.
Although I would really like to TMP some Iron Drakes about though. That'd be quite cool.
Yeah, but you still got to bring dwarf core and a dwarf character. Whatever army, what army you gonna build, to bring in those Iron Drakes, plus your 125 points of core, plus your character. That when you get all that in to get those Iron Drakes in, you couldn't do that job within your own book. It might have been more expensive, but you'd have to.
Yeah, so what I reckon we got to do is basically have an event that is like 2,800 points, so just enough to cover the allies, and then you're golden then, right?
All right, what I'm going to do if I can't get to Luca to figure out this special battle report where we bring special, I'm going to bring allies in this week on the channel. Maybe we'll do one of each, one the elite army and one with allies, because narratively they're cool. I just don't think I can't think of, and genuinely I'm not trying to like, if anybody can think of a way to make a busted ally contingent in an army, email to me. I want to know what combo you think is amazing.
I mean, you'd have to make it make sense, wouldn't you? Like, I don't think putting high elves with dwarves would be... that wouldn't sit well with me, I don't think. And yes, everyone in the chat, it is Dawi hate. They're all racist towards dwarves.
This is going, Brandon. I believe, this is faith, because I have no evidence to back this up. I believe if you take away the ally restriction from these competitive events, you're not going to see anybody bring them. But if you do, you're not going to see anybody bring them and do well. But I would love to see the combo that I haven't thought of. Like Doomseeker, Mercs, the Empire. Are mercenaries allowed competitively?
Yeah, so you can take mercenaries in competitive events, yeah. It's just allies you're not allowed to. Like, I'd say the only good mercenary are probably Doomseekers, right?
Especially with General Von Lowenhack, who makes them not roll on the stupid table.
Exactly. Yeah, Ed was doing this thing when he was just like shooting the Demon Seekers up the board, which was hilarious.
Was he playing Empire?
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, he was playing Empire. He was Spectral Steed in the Doom Seekers.
Oh, he's in the chat. Ed, Did you bring low attack? That is a combo I talked about when I did the Empire review. I forgot about that. I haven't done that yet.
Oh, you need to get on that. I don't think I've ever seen anyone run him. I don't think.
I've used them. I have used them several times with my Gnome list. The great thing about he came out before the FAQ to Scout came out, so I had this list built for the Gnome where it's Road Wardens with Scout, Archers, low and hacks, a bunch of War Machines. So it's like a 4 or 5. I think it's a 4-drop army with basically +2 to go first, and it's a gun line. So nice. Yeah, I may not have. Oh, and vanguarding Hellblasters to move forward, so you're shooting turn 1. You may not have the Column of Crystal and the Miasmic Mirage to slow down the enemy, but hopefully you've crippled enough damage into them turn 1 that you don't need it. But the Scout change kind of changes that. The drop, it becomes like a 8-drop army after all the Scouts are in, so at best you're probably rolling at even.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The change to the Scout rule kind of just screws over stuff like that, doesn't it? To be fair, which is a shame. I do get it. Like I do get the change. But
well, okay, so it's actually one of the things that annoys me. I vehemently disagree with the Scout change because this is a prime example of what happened with the game behind the scenes, where it was clearly done by one person or one group, and then a new group took over, because every FAQ was rules as intended, and then it was all hard rules as written. And technically that Scout counting as your drops is rules as intended the way they wrote it, but the narrative blurb very much implies that it's not meant to be that way. Also, it hasn't worked that way in the previous 8 editions. Now, that's not a good argument. It hasn't worked that way in 8 editions, but it is, in my opinion, almost certainly not meant to count as a drop. Like probably certainly not meant to count, but the FAQ said yes. Does it change the game that much for me? No. The fact that it's a change that it doesn't make any sense to me is kind of dumb. Demon A, so the last FAQ, the count, okay, so whoever finishes deploying their army first gets +1 to roll, so he goes first. Now, Scouts, you deploy after your opponent has fully done deploying, so rules as written. And now, according to the FAQ, if I have 1 Scout, Richie has no Scouts, I have 3 drops and a Scout, he has 12 drops, I drop back and forth, I'm done with my 3, he finishes his remaining 9, and then I drop my Scout, which means Richie finished deploying first, so he gets +1.
Yeah, I do. An interesting one for me, though, is obviously ambushes. Like, I always just, in my head, it doesn't make sense that ambushes aren't a drop. Because you'd think you'd be like, I'm going to drop these in ambush. Like, it never makes sense to me.
So the problem with this, or maybe it's not even a problem, but okay, so now you're playing a game. Let's say I have 3 units that have the ambush special rule, and 3 units that have the Scout special rule. At no point does it tell you must use those special rules. So we can deploy back and forth, and all of a sudden I'm going to go, I'm done. The rest is going to ambush or Scout. Or I can be, I'm going to deploy this. You're still deploying. I'm going to deploy 1 million. I'm going to deploy 1 million. So you can have this whole other meta game where both players have ambushers and Scouts, and then somebody's got to just decide they're done first. Like I'm certain Games Workshop hasn't thought that through.
I don't like it, Steve. I don't like it. Ruined by immersion.
But if you like, 40K has similar rules, like exactly like these things, but they tell you declare them beforehand. Old World should, in my opinion, have a rule that you declare your ambushers and Scouts beforehand, and they don't count as drops. Or, if the way you want it, Richie, you could declare your Scouts, your ambushers are deployed in ambush, like 40K would be like, I'm going to deploy my Terminators over here. No, I'm going to deploy them in Deep Strike like an ambusher.
Perfection.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, and help me out on this one, I don't think it matters at all with ambushers, because there is, even in casual play, ambush has no value. Is anybody ambushing?
Yeah. I mean, people do ambush, so Tomb King's players do ambush because it's nothing more annoying than getting some sepulchral stalkers pop up behind you.
But they can control it. They can control it, and they don't have to come on table edges. They have they have a rule that's so different from ambush that it shouldn't even be called ambush. So they don't count.
This is true. Although Beastmen players do it. So
No, they
Tom
don't.
Barley, no.
All right, tell me what Tom
new
does.
list. So he's got 5 Viletide wizards, and 2 of them ambush behind you, so he can hit you with all 5 Viletides in one turn.
Wait. Actually, that's kind of dumb. What was it? Tom? All right, I'm cool. That's cool. but like, what are they doing? Are they ambushing with? Like, they have no protection.
Oh, so you got like 2 units of gore that kind of come on at the same time, and
Yeah,
then
but what if the wizard rolls and the gores don't show up?
Well, I suppose you just pop in behind a building or something. Then I suppose really, you just kind of like peekaboo around the corner and then just Viletide something.
Such a Beastman thing. All right, Tom. I hate it, but I kind of love it. I'm gonna do it.
Oh, it's so fun. Like I would say it's really fun to play against, but it's not. So he's gone like full MSU with all Beastmen. So it's all little tiny units, and he does the arsehole trick. Well, I do it too actually, which is you interlinking all the skirmishes together. So all your skirmishes are like -3 to hit with bloody earthen ramparts on and stuff.
Did you camera go away? I lost your camera.
No, I'm still there. Oh, sorry. Is it back on?
1 second. You're back.
Oh.
You're back.
Sorry, I don't know what happened then. Technical difficulties.
I'm gonna pull up the. I need to check something. Sorry, everybody. I need to go into the Beastmen to see can the Brayherds, or sorry, the wizards actually buy ambush?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. I mean, it's is it something you can give them?
It's probably a 10-point upgrade.
Or 5, probably.
I hadn't considered it on a lone character like that. Like a Centaur character.
I don't know what the upgrade is. Definitely something.
10 points for ambusher. 10 points.
It's good, right? Like that is probably one of the best uses for ambush, I think.
Wait, can you right? You can hold on. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm thinking. So you can still ambush on a chariot, right? There's no rule saying you can't ambush when you're on a chariot.
So someone has just said they can't ambush on chariots. What's the reasoning behind this? Though that they can't.
Oh, my bad, everybody. I'm the one, Richie. I'm the one killing your camera. I'm moving windows around.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Yeah, my bad.
Cheers.
It's not you. It was me.
Not coming on here again.
Where's this rule? They can't. We have to. Don't Beastmen get some sort of bonus to ambush rolls? Yeah, they have a horn. They have a horn. I think it's +1 or reroll. But hold on, we have something here. If you can take multiple Viletide shamans.
Yeah, pop them up behind people, and just get them. That'd be good.
Oh my god, I am. Guys, I'm probably playing Beastmen for my next battle report.
Although, unfortunately, I've just given away Tom's tech that we're taking over to Italy, but oh well. Fine.
When are you going to Italy? When's the Italy game?
So we've got a tournament over in Italy at the end of the month, which should be quite good. It is a 5-person team event over there. Really excited. It should be good. I'm probably going to break every single one of my gyrocopters, though, on the flight over, I think.
Do you think competitive players watch Mountain Miniatures in their non-competitive battle reports? I'm not going to give away secrets, are you?
I hope so. I'm coming to get you.
Should I wait for the end of the month before I do? Dick, I wonder how many wizards I get. Who said you can't bring the chariot thing? I need to know the argument. Because I can spend forever. The great thing about this edition is a lot of cool rules, a lot of interactions. The bad thing about this edition is a lot of cool rules, a lot of interactions, and you can go with 7 books to find the answer you need.
So Ed's just said the ambush upgrade says on foot.
No, it doesn't.
Does it not?
Nope.
No.
Oh! May have the ambush special roll 10 points. Or maybe Mountain's not Tusker Chariot. I get it. I'm actually disappointed. I'm still going to do it. There's still toughness 5.
Oh,
There's still
yeah.
5 of armor save.
Yeah, but nothing's ever going to be able to see them anything because you're literally just spamming like a load of units into ambush so they can pop up with them, get in the way. You can zap through all the little gaps in the skirmish units. Like, it's so good.
Do we actually see the flying carpet on a level 4 Beastman? Is the extra
I'm
3
pretty sure
inches
Tom
movement
does.
worth it? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he does run that. So I don't know if you've seen his army. He's got like a really like John Blanchian-esque Beastman army. Like it's proper gross. Like he always wins best army when we go somewhere. And his level 4 general with the flying carpet's got little fairy wings.
Nice. So I think you forget I'm not a cultured man. I have no idea what John Blanchian means. I'm sorry. Does he do Warhammer?
Out.
I'm assuming he's some sort of artist. Does he paint magic cards? Isn't that bad? Dude, look at I played Warhammer for most of my adult life. This is all I know. And I barely even know it.
Right. Google Blanche. Or Blanchissimo. As soon as you see it. Did all of like the original, like loads of 40k stuff, loads of fantasy paintings from years ago.
He's a soccer player. I'm assuming How would you spell it? Oh no, you can't spell either. Somebody, look at. Here's what I know. A lot of Warhammer fantasy enthusiasts are educated or intelligent people. Somebody in chat will type it in 2 seconds, and I'll be able to Google it. There's a delay. When they catch up with us, I'm gonna look less dumb, and I'll edit this out.
Yeah, I think just cut this bit out, and you'll be fine, right?
Blanche, long time GWR correction. I got it, Dale. I got it. So just Google John. That's how I spelled it. No, Richie. I swear, I watched Pokemon this morning. Okay, I am a child.
That's what I was like. Oh, it's Steve Blanche. Oh man.
Oh, okay. When you spell his name correctly, a lot of things pop up. Okay. Oh, he's literally every 40k piece of art that's iconic to me in my memories as a kid.
Yes, and
the Emperor's here, yeah.
As well. Yeah. It's like the original kind of like grim, dark artist, basically.
I assumed you were talking about like some other like mainstream artist, and I'm like, oh, I know about Warhammer. That's all I know about. And this guy's a Warhammer guy. I don't even know about Warhammer, dudes.
But they've brought out a paint set of all of his color tones that he uses now, which is pretty awesome as well.
Who did?
What painting company is it? Pro Acryl? Anybody who knows who did the John Blanche paint set? 'Cause it's really cool.
Do you have a favorite paint brand or company?
Yeah, so I really like Pro Acryl for like I use that for like my skin tones and stuff like that, just because it is such good quality, and you only have to do like 1 or 2 passes with it compared to other paints. But I do cheat quite a lot. I do use contrasts quite a lot actually.
Fair. Same here. I actually use a little bit of everything these days. So we obviously chatted and rambled all over the place. I meant to about 10 minutes ago open it up to the audience to ask you a bunch of questions, because I get a lot of questions that are often competitive focused, and I just don't have the experience to answer them. So if you guys want to get your questions in now, you have about 5 minutes left to ask anything you want. I want to give you guys more time, but I got distracted with my lack of education.
Got a fake fan alert. Yeah.
Exposed again. Jim Beef, thank you. Dwarf question of magic.
Yeah. So what are you doing this week, Steve? Anything much planned?
Painting. So I assembled my one of those rocket batteries yesterday. 3 sky cutters for my high elves. I remember the names of everything. And a couple of Great Eagles. I've been using the Lord of the Rings Great Eagles for my high elves forever. So I actually got some of the old new metal ones. I don't know why, just to add to my High Elf collection. So a lot of painting.
Nice, nice. Bloody knife is though.
Rex
With
campaign
the Temple
first.
Guard, so with the maximizing the Temple Guard, are you on about with the Renegade rules or the non-Renegade rules?
Well, give me both answers. I want both answers.
Yeah, well, you go, Steve. You've got more
No,
experience in
actually, I was
playing
hoping
them.
for the competitive. So, before Renegade, Temple Guard and Spears for me were like interchangeable. I could care less which ones I brought. They were both the same points. I like the extra attacks or the extra strength. I have no real. I think they're both great, but I'm in the extreme minority where I actually think Source Warriors are good and useful. So nobody's agree with my take, or you want to hear my take on this. So go take it away, dude.
What you do is you don't take them and take skinks. No, I'm only joking. If you do actually just go like full line hammer and get the slan in there as well, like they're really strong. Like I've played against them in the new Renegades. They are genuinely actually really, really good. I would say if you could take a unit of 30 of them as just a point sink, they're really good. Honestly, like they've got such a like now that you can buff them loads better as well, and you can put the slan in. Yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Right, so we've got Houdini. Right, so what I would say with dwarves, can you let me know what type of dwarf army he wants to run? If he wants to do a infantry style, I would say get the battalion box because that's a really good start because you can say that the warriors are longbeards, you can say the quarrelers are rangers. If you want to do X-Force, I would definitely suggest just buying bits of infantry and then some like quarrelers and some handgunners and stuff like that. I'm kind of working from there. But the battalion box for dwarves is probably the best one I think they do. Right, so we got Demon Ace 18. How do you counter the Night Goblin Poison Bricks? So really, really easily. What army is it that you're running though? If you could just let us know the army you're running, I can let you know exactly how to counter it.
I
Because
saw
I've
half
kind
the
of found
smoke
that just
there.
no. So one of my mates, Dave Brewis, he runs 2 units of 30 and a massive unit, which is like I think it's like almost 100 goblins with poison. So with the yeet list, we've got it down now that if I get all of my, so if I get first turn, I win. If he gets first turn, he wins. It's a coin toss between us two now. But that's 100-man brick though.
I thought maybe that the dwarves would have the hardest time to deal with them. Is that not true?
No, so if you can get to a 3-up rerollable save with a 5-up ward, suddenly poison doesn't do a thing.
True.
Doesn't do a thing. 2-up saves are the way forward with that. Right, so Aguma, I hope that's how you spell it. Yeah, so I've got a series. Well, I talked to people about the competitive builds that they've got, but I could start a new series talking to people that have won events with that specific army and then making a list with them. If that's something that you'd want to watch, then I can definitely do that in future as well.
So also on his channel, Dawi After Dark, there's a link to the channel in the description of this video. There's several videos of how to win with. There's a lot of good information in those videos. Watch them.
Thank you very much. I mean, if people want to see some kind of like list building with tournament winners and GT winners, I can definitely do that as well. Right, so Houdini, with the Stalwart, Unbreakable Shield and Infantry vibe, you definitely want to go down the Royal Host. Just get the battalion box, just get the King as well, the new King, and you're pretty much there, really. Like, you don't really have to buy too much else. Maybe just a stone thrower if you want that, but yeah, you're pretty much there with that. It's quite a cheap army to get into, to be perfectly honest.
Was Renegade really needed? I mean, Chaos Doors are a pain. I like the magical weapon can do something else other than Imperials. So was Renegades really needed, Richie? I know it's still very, very, very early.
I don't know. I don't know if I can comment on this because I don't play one of the Renegade factions.
Okay.
Obviously, I know dwarves aren't per se one of the strongest armies in the game. But that's the army that I've chose to play, and I will play that, and I will try and push to do that. But I can understand the frustrations that, say, the Lizardman players and the Ogre players have got, that their armies physically almost can't compete with the stronger armies. So I feel for them, it's needed, and especially for home games as well. Like I don't know what the effect will be on the on the competitive side of it, but I think for home games, definitely you should be able to at least beat your friends, right?
I think every
should have
RPG
the
game can currently do that.
Yeah. I would say the Renegade definitely helps a couple of them though, for sure.
I worry that the Chaos Dwarf one. I don't know how it is affecting things competitively, but I can't. I feel like I can't play the changes to the Chaos Dwarves in my casual environment because they're too strong.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that everything's too strong. Like I've had a few of my mates that have been kind of taking the, I don't know if I can swear on it, but they've been taking the piss out of me for the last couple of
That's
weeks.
a swear.
Because well, I don't know. I don't know what I'm allowed to say on here. Like my channel is a lot worse, right? But yeah, like I've had a few of my mates taking a piss out of me because obviously a couple of weeks ago we did a video when I was like, "Oh, skinks are a bit strong," and a load of people were like, "Oh, you're moaning about these meta armies and stuff." It's not. I think that they are quite strong, and some of the renegade builds brings them up to a level where they're comparatively the same as Bretonia, the same as Warriors of Chaos. I'm not trying to say they're overpowered. I'm not trying to say that they should get nerfed or anything. I'm just trying to state a fact that they're good.
Yeah,
like, that's a good thing, right? We
talked about this a few weeks ago, you and I, and you gave me an idea, and I tried it out. It's like a toughness 7 Castellan on a giant monster, 2 toughness 7 chariot organ gun thingies, iron demons, 1 unit of core being the Iron Sworn. I don't think my opponent killed a single thing. It was all too much to deal with, all too tough to deal with.
Yeah, 100%. Demon Ace. So with Empire and Warriors of Chaos, in the Empire Force, you want to throw some Demigryph Knights at them. So what I would do is charge Demigryph Knights and a Griffin to try and terror bob them. So if they haven't taken the fungus wine, you can literally just instantly kill all of them, which is hilarious. And exactly the same thing, the Warriors of Chaos. You want to throw so many units at them, they can't pin anything down. So you want to do maybe a Chaos Dragon, a Warpfire Dragon, and a Shartak in there all at the same time, even with some dogs maybe, and just try and terror bomb them out. If you don't terror bomb them because they've taken the fungus wine, just try and kill as many as possible. If you can get into the flanks of them, suddenly they're just crap.
I was going to say, once the unit is so big, they're going to have enormous flanks. I wrap my head around building dwarves for the options of the royal clans. Expeditionary forces, one more focus on infantry and war machines. You can take that. That's my buddy Brandon.
Yeah, so basically, Brandon, you can take war machines in both. I used to really like taking the grudge throwers and the bolt throwers in Royal Host, but I think the way to think about it is the royal clan is basically a king and mate. It's an old school kind of army. It's like the War of the Beard kind of army, whereas the expeditionary forces, the young lads, the engineers are going out and basically trying some new tech. So if you want like moving and shooting thunderers, Burlock can make rangers always hit on 3s, stuff like that, and you can get a lot more different types of artillery. And obviously, if you like gyrocopters, then you probably want to take expeditionary force.
There you go. Okay, well, I'm going to end it there, but I'm going to say for Killgood, any idea why Bretonia still have a Hippogriff model available? Is because the game doesn't really need it. It was an old name character. I suspect if another edition of the game came out, either there would be a new plastic Demigryph kit, or Hippogriff, kit coming out, or it gets removed from the game altogether. Like nobody needs one right now. Like objectively, you don't need one. It's just making your character worse by putting him on a Hippogriff for more points. So there you go. That's us this week. We'll be back next week on Dawi After Dark, same time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Maybe we should check out Hershey's channel, link in the description below. We'll be streaming Wednesday and Thursday night this week, and stay tuned on the weekend for the Wood Elf stuff coming out on this channel. See you next week, guys. Happy wargaming.
See you later, guys.
Bye.